Chuck and Carol Stewart were robbed at gunpoint as they left a Lamaze class.
It seemed the ultimate urban nightmare.
You know, the thing I love about this country of mine is that whether you're a psychotic killer or running for president of the United States, the one thing you can always count on is white America's fear of the black man.
We've heard the stories on the news and in the papers, and they have killed people. Killer bees, also known as Africanized bees.
I'm scared. I'm really worried with them.
Rosemary Shibley never expected a nest of Africanized killer bees to shack up across the street from her.
But I'm terribly allergic to them, and so are my grandkids.
They're originally from southern and eastern Africa. Dr. Warwick Kerr brought some to Brazil in 1956 and tried to mate them with the European bee, the kind that we're used to. But they got loose, took over, and moved all the way to the southern United States.
The main difference between a traditional honeybee and an Africanized bee is the bee's aggressiveness. If I was to do this to an Africanized bee's hive, I could have several hundred stings in a matter of minutes.
Danny Self raises the kinder, gentler European bees, and he's done the research.
The only way that you can tell the two of them is doing measurements on the body parts.
Quite frankly, the black community has become entertainment for the rest of the community.
Meaning what?
The entertainment being that the crime of the day, you know, if it bleeds, it leads, gets to be the front story, and then that becomes the perception and the image of an entire people, which couldn't be further from the truth, in my opinion. In fact, you'll find, I think most African Americans are quite adverse to gun possession. In suburbia, I think there's some notion that there's going to be an invading horde come from either the city or from someplace unknown to savage their suburban community. To me, it not only is it bizarre, but it's totally unfounded. And these pistols, curiously enough, weren't being taken off of kids in the city of Flint, but were being taken off of kids out in the Out County area, in the suburban communities.
I didn't think that's what you were going to say. I thought you were going to say that it's all these black kids in the inner city schools. They had these guns.
No, we've never really had many problems with the guns in the city. I mean, and not to say that we haven't, but we've had some. But that's never been the biggest problem. The biggest problem has been the gun possession by these adolescents in suburbia.
How'd you get a gun?
I stole mine.
Where'd you steal it from?
I stole it from a friend of mine.
Where'd he get it?
His dad owns a bunch of guns.
What were you doing with the stolen guns?
We went down to Detroit to try to sell them, because I can get like $1.50 a pop for a 9mm.
Really? Yeah. Who are you trying to sell them to?
Anybody that would really want them. Mostly gangs and stuff like that.
Gangs in the city of Detroit?
Yeah.
Black?
Predominantly.
Yeah. So you're out now, you're okay?
Yeah, I'm free now. I'm completely clear.
You can keep selling guns?
Well, I can't really keep selling guns. It's getting too risky, man. Everybody knows me up here. You know, people want guns or drugs or alcohol. They come to my house, and that's just too much.
Yeah, too much hassle.
Yeah.
My favorite statistic in all the research I did discovered that the murder rate had gone down by 20%. The coverage, that is, how many murders are on the evening news, it went up by 600%.
The American people are conditioned by network TV, by local news, to believe that their communities are much more dangerous than they actually are. For example, here in this community, crime has decreased every year for the past 8 years, yet gun ownership, particularly handgun ownership, is on the increase.
Crime rates have been dropping. Fear of crime has been going up, up, up. How can that be possible? It doesn't make any sense. But it makes perfect sense when you see what we're hearing from politicians and seeing in the news media.
So we're right here on the corner of Florence and Normandy. This was kind of ground zero for the LA riots.
Right. You know, if a couple of white guys go down and walk around South Central, they're going to get killed, which I can tell you is a common perception. The odds that something's going to happen to us are really, really slight, minuscule.
Right. Okay.
But, you know, if you look up there, you get a different symbol.
of the Hollywood sign, it means something very different than the corner of Florence and Normandy for most Americans and most of the world. You know, it means glamour and Hollywood, except that we can't see it.
I can't see the Hollywood sign.
Right.
Where is it?
Right. You can't see it because of something that's probably much more dangerous for us right now, which is the stuff we're breathing.
The pollution that's blocking the Hollywood sign. We're breathing this.
That's far more dangerous than all the other stuff the media is telling us to be afraid of.
Right.
As we left the corner of Florence and Normandy, I noticed that a number of helicopters had appeared in the sky. Within seconds, the news media started to arrive.
So what's the story here?
I'm waiting. I thought you would know.
No, I don't know anything.
Sergeant just told me it was a cop with a guy with a gun. But they're not sure. That's all they told me.
Right.
So it's no action, like getting the camera down.
I just happened to see the chopper. I'm going to another story.
What story are you going to?
It's a near drowning.
It's a drowning?
Near drowning.
A near drowning. Yeah. How about the story about how you can't see the Hollywood Hills because of the pollution? Could you maybe do a story on that tonight?
Pollution is probably good.
Huh?
That's probably good. You can't see it. You can't see anything around here.
If you have to choose between a guy with a gun and a near drowning of a baby, you can only be one place at one time. Which way the gun? You go with a gun always. Go with a gun. Is it all over here? All over? All over?
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet?
I say, just wait for these sergeants down here.
Yeah.
To come down because they got all the details.
Okay. Hey, I'm just wondering, I just got here to L.A. today. I can't see the Hollywood sign down in the hills there, down Normandy. I can't see the sign because of the pollution.
Right.
Is there anybody you can go and, like, arrest for, like, polluting up the air?
Absolutely not.
Nobody?
No.
Why is that? Why is that, Sergeant?
Oh, he's fighting.
For over a decade, there has been one show on American television that has consistently brought black and white people together in an effort to reduce our fears and celebrate our diversity. That show is Cops. I went to see a former producer of Cops and executive producer of World's Wildest Police Videos, Mr. Dick Herland.
You look liberal up in the dictionary, and I think my picture's in there somewhere. But, yeah.
So then, you know, why not be compelled to do, you know, a show that focuses on, you know, what's causing the crime as opposed to just chasing the criminals down?
Because I think it's harder to do that show. I don't know what that show would be. Anger does well, hate does well, violence does well. Tolerance and understanding and trying to learn to be a little different than you were last year does less well.
Does less well in the ratings.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe because we, in the television business, because we tend to demonize black and Hispanic people, then those watching it at home are going, I don't want to help those people. I'm not going to do anything to help them because I hate them now because they may hurt me. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. I'm not sure that's what we're doing. I'm not sure we're demonizing black and Hispanic people particularly. I don't think we show black and Hispanic people as being criminals. I'd like to say not more often, but probably they are more often. But I certainly don't think we're certainly not trying to demonize black and Hispanic people.
We show them on the news, we show them on TV as pretty scary people.
Yeah. And I agree. I think I'd like to see that reversed as much as possible.
Start tonight.
Well, the thing is, I don't know how to start tonight. I don't know how to tell that story. Well, if I was smart enough to do that.
I'll pitch you one. I'll pitch you one, okay?
All right.
Do a show called, not Cops, but Corporate Cops.
Oh, corporation man, hey, corporate man, we're coming out to get you, better run while you can. We're coming out to get you, better run while you can.
I love the idea. I don't think it would make very interesting reality TV. Unless we can get those people to get in their SUVs and drive really fast down the road away from the police.
But I'm telling you, everyone in America who's got just your basic everyday, you know, job is going to love watching the boss being chased down the street with his shirt off, thrown to the ground and a knee to the neck. I'm telling you, that is going to get ratings.
I'm with you. And if I can find a police outfit that would prosecute corporate criminals appropriately and would go after them appropriately. In other words, what you do to a man who's just stolen a lady's purse with $85 to it, then you need to do an appropriate response to a man who's just stolen $85 million from indigent people, then, boy, we're going to be out there filming that. But as a matter of fact, when police go after the guy who's just stolen $85 million, they treat him like he was a member of the city council, as he may or may not be, and it's not exciting television. If you could get that guy to take his shirt off.
Right.
Yeah, and throw his cellular phone at the police as they come through the door. Try to jump out that window, then we'd have a show. You watch violence on TV in a place like Canada, and you know it's not happening next door. You watch it here, and you know it is happening next door.
Right.
I think that's... I don't know what the difference is, but there's a big difference.
Yeah, why isn't it though? Why isn't it happening in Canada? Why aren't there, 10,000 murders a year?
I don't know, but I want to go to Canada to retire or something, because it sounds like where we want to be. I'd like to find out what that difference is, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'm trying to find out. Where are you supposed to be right now?
School.
Aren't you worried about what you're not learning?
I'm mostly helping everybody else in the class. Then I barely get to do my work, period.
How about you? You're not worried about your education?
Well, I've got the textbook.
Why do you think we have so many gun murders in America?
I have no idea. People must hate each other out there or something.
Oh, you mean Canadians don't hate each other?
Well, we do, but we don't go to the point of shooting somebody just to get revenge.
What do you do?
I don't know. Tease them, maybe. Make fun of them, ridicule them.
Throw eggs at them.
Eggs.
How many gun murders in Sarnia this year?
None.
Last year?
I believe we had one at the time.
Year before that?
I can't recall what we had in the way of...
Maybe one in the last 3 years?
Probably, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Very low for the city.
Mm-hmm.
Well, of course, there's no murders here because there's only 70,000 people, and it's the kissing capital of the world. So I went down the river to another Canadian city that was 5 times as large as Sarnia, Windsor, Ontario, just across the river from Detroit. I was sure there'd be more murders in Windsor.
Ever hear of anyone being shot by a gun in Windsor?
No.
You remember any murders here?
There was one long time ago, probably.
How long ago? In your lifetime?
In my lifetime, probably about 15, 20 years ago, there was one murder.
In fact, this Windsor policeman told me that the only gun murder he could recall in Windsor in the last 3 years was committed by a guy from Detroit who had a stolen gun from Minnesota. With nearly 400,000 people in the Windsor area, there were simply no Canadians shooting other Canadians. I thought it might be time for some fun facts about Canada. I hit the streets of New York to find out what the average American thought about our friendly neighbor to the north.
Canadians don't watch as much violent movies as Americans do.
That's wrong. Hordes of young boys all throughout Canada eagerly await the next Hollywood bloodbath.
The guy gets his leg taken off.
Oh, wow.
And there was a lot of girls there. Yeah, and naked.
Yeah.
Naked at one point. I like that stuff.
Well, what movie did you guys see tonight?
Sixth Day.
Sixth Day with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah.
Did it make you want to come out here and play this shoot-'em-up game?
Well, yeah.
There's no poverty in Canada like there is here in the States.
Wrong again.
Actually, we've also had a much higher unemployment rate. When Michigan was running at 4%, we were still running at 8 or 9%. We had almost have an institutional unemployment rate.
I think there'd mostly be white people in Canada.
That's strange. Because when I'm in Canada, I see black people everywhere. And yellow people and brown people, and 13% of the country is non-white. So the Canadians are pretty much just like us. And the reason that they have so few murders has to be because they've got so few guns.
What kind of guns do you own?
I hunt. I own rifles and shotguns. I own pistols.
Mm-hmm. So how many guns total?
Probably about 7.
7 guns? Yeah. You have a gun?
I have a few guns.
Really? How many guns do you have?
Half a dozen.
You could name how many people right now that own guns that you know? 2, 3, a dozen?
More than that.
Well, there's a tremendous amount of gun ownership, being the nature of the country we are. We're a large country geographically. We grew up with hunting and fishing being a tradition.
In Canada, with a population of just around about 30 million, there's about 10 million families, and the best estimate is somewhere in the region of 7 million guns.
Wow. Canada was one gun-loving, gun-toting, gun-crazy country.
Where can I get a gun?
I can buy a gun uptown anytime I want to.
I see you're a Glock owner. Where can I get a Glock in Canada?
Most gun stores will sell them to you if you have the proper permits and stuff.
In fact, despite all their tough gun laws, take a look at what I, a foreign citizen, was able to do at the local Canadian Walmart.
All right, where's the ammunition at?
Where's the ammunition?
Yeah.
Back here. What kind are you looking for?
You know, like bullets.
That's right. I could buy as much live ammunition as I wanted to in Canada.
You take American? Do you lock your doors?
No.
Are you afraid of anything?
Not only, no.
Do you lock your doors at night?
Nope.
You don't lock your doors? Well, are you afraid of anything?
Not really.
Have you ever been broken into?
Yes, I have.
What happened?
They broke into my home. I wasn't there. They broke in, they stole some booze, some cigarettes, and they left. So I figured it must have been some teenagers out to have a little bit of fun, and that's all they took. Just some booze and some cigarettes.
Have you ever been a victim of crime?
Yes.
What kind of crime?
I've had people walk in while I've been sleeping and vandalize my home and steal from me.
And that didn't want to make you lock your doors at night?
Nope. Nope.
As an American with 3 locks on his doors, I found this all a bit confusing. Even here in Toronto, a city of millions, people just didn't lock their doors.
So you don't lock your doors, but we Americans do. Why is that?
You must be afraid of your neighbor.
You ever leave your doors unlocked at home? Yeah, you do? Sure. Where do you live?
Right around here.
Toronto?
Right around here. Right around here.
You leave your doors unlocked?
Yeah. You think, as Americans, that the lock is keeping people out of your place. We as Canadians see it more as when we lock the door, we're imprisoning ourselves inside.
You don't want to do that?
Not really, no. We don't want to, no.
I decided to go unannounced to a neighborhood in Toronto to see if this unlocked door thing was true.
Oh, hi. Sorry, just checking. Oh, hello. Oh, hi. Nobody locks their doors. Nobody locks their doors in this town.
No, you want to lock?
Yeah? No. No. Do you like living here?
I like it very much.
Yeah, and the T-shirt?
The T-shirt too.
This door was wide open. And you're not afraid?
Yeah. Should I be afraid?
Oh, I don't know. You live here.
No, I don't think I'm afraid.
You're not, are you?
No.
Thank you very much.
All right, no problem.
I'm sorry about the intrusion.
No problem.
And thank you for not shooting me.
No problem.
Okay.
No.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
As an American, I gotta say, this all seemed kind of strange until I looked up at the TV in the bar and noticed what they watch for their evening news.
They're friends of ours. We'll certainly listen to them courteously and carefully, but you don't just make war just because someone says so.
Night after night, the Canadians weren't being pumped full of fear. And their politicians seemed to talk kind of funny.
That is making sure they have proper daycare, that they have assistance for their parents when they're elderly and need to be in an old age home, that they have proper health care that ensures that they won't lose their business or their house because they can't afford their medical bills. That's how you build a good society. No one wins unless everyone wins, and you don't win by beating up on people who can't defend themselves. And that's been the approach, unfortunately, that's been spreading with some of the right-wing governments across North America, that they pick on the people that can't defend themselves, and at the same time they're turning around and giving financial support and tax breaks and tax benefits to people that don't need them.
Where are the indigent in the city? Where do they live?
Indigent?
You act like you've never heard the word before.
We don't have that problem here, really.
So I asked them, well, could you at least take me to a Canadian slum? And, well, this is what a ghetto looks like in Canada.
Is this the same sort of mentality that says with Canadians, you think if somebody gets sick, they should actually be able to have health care?
Yes.
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
Why?
Because human rights. Everyone's got the right to live.
Did you just come out of the emergency room?
Yes, I did.
And how much did you have to pay for your treatment?
I wouldn't know what the bill is. It's covered by our hospital plan.
So you're telling me you didn't have to pay anything?
No, I don't.
I have family that lives in the States. I used to live in Canada and moved over there. And it's so different.
They get afraid more easily.
Oh, yeah. Yep, very much so. Because everybody reacts over there just like that. They don't stop and think. First reaction is pull the gun out. You're on my property. You know, like, I don't know. It's just different over here.
Where do you live?
Detroit.
Detroit?
Yeah.
Come over to Canada here for the night?
Right.
Uh-huh.
People a little bit more open-minded over here, a little bit more welcoming.
Yeah. Feel any difference when you cross over to this country? Be honest now, come on.
It's a lot lighter. This segregation over there is definitely much more
in the United States.
Intensified in the States, yeah. So you can feel it. Almost like they just let you be.
Well, that's Canada for you.
Every time I turn on the TV in the States, it's always about a murder here, or a gunfight, hostile position.
I just think the States, their view of things is fighting. That's how they resolve everything. If there's something going on in another country, that, you know, they send people over to fight it. And Canada's more just like, let's negotiate, let's work something out, where the States is, well, we'll just kill you and that'll be the end of that.
If more guns made people safer, then America would be one of the safest countries in the world. It isn't. It's the opposite.
I heard that 911 call, you know, on TV someplace. It was horrible. It was just...
Because she kept asking, where's the shooter? She said, he's gone. I need some help.
And the little girl was in there, too.
She was on the floor, yes.
She was on the floor. And the police and the medics came, or...
By the time the medics were here, medics had just come in, and I remember him stepping in and taking over the room. He says, you have to leave.
Right.
And then when medics come in, when the police come in, you're no longer in control.
Was she still alive then, or probably not?
Her lips had begun to turn blue.
Back in my hometown of Flint, Michigan, a 6-year-old first-grade boy at Buell Elementary had found a gun at his uncle's house, where he was staying because his mother was being evicted. He brought the gun to school and shot another first grader, 6-year-old Kayla Rowland. With one bullet that passed through her body, she fell to the floor and laid there dying, while her teacher called 911 for help. No one knew why the little boy wanted to shoot the little girl. As if the city had not been through enough horror and tragedy in the past 2 decades, it was now home to a new record, the youngest school shooting ever in the United States. On the morning of the shooting, it only took the news helicopters and satellite trucks a half hour to show up on the scene.
Checking the truck. You know, we're doing one in 30 minutes again.
This evening, about 7 o'clock, will be a public memorial service. We are expecting hundreds of people. They will mourn the loss of little Kayla, a tiny little girl who loved pizza, teddy bears, and who was taken away from us much too soon. Gina?
Good morning, Christine. The funeral home now passing out thousands, tens of thousands of these pink ribbons to support the young girl's family. Today will be an emotional day and has been already, remembering little Kayla. Jeff Rossen, Fox 2 News. Nice job. Yeah, Michelle, we're having technical problems, okay? Well, don't talk to me about it. Call our SAT truck. Get a haircut, man. I'm a pig. Rug. Here we go. some too choked up even to speak about it. There's a memorial service scheduled here for 7 o'clock tonight. We're live in Flint, Michigan this afternoon. Jeff Rawson, Q13 reports. Thank you.
Thank you.
I kind of need it, don't I?
Yeah, you
I got
do.
some, I got number 10.
I have some. I just didn't put it in. I didn't have a chance.
I have hurricane proof.
Hurricane. This man prayed for Kayla, then let the balloon go. I said we have the color picture, not the black and white card. There's plenty of media here that covered Columbine. You know, there are some networks, especially, that go from, unfortunately, tragedy to tragedy. And I feel bad for them, because that's all they see. The tragedies. Yeah, but we're just trying to crunch right now for the 5 and the 6. Today we're feeding CNN and Fox, so.
The national media had never visited Buell Elementary, or the Beecher School District in which it sat, or this part of Flint ever before. And few, if any, of these reporters bothered to visit it, even when they were here now. If they had ventured just a block away from the school or the funeral home, they might have seen a different kind of tragedy that perhaps would contain some answers as to why this little girl was dead. For over 20 years, this impoverished area in the hometown of the world's largest corporation had been ignored as completely as it had been destroyed. With 87% of the students living below the official poverty line, Buell and Beecher and Flint did not fit into the accepted and widely circulated storyline put forth by the nation's media. That being the one about America and its invincible economy. The #1 cause of death among young people in this part of Flint was homicide. The football field at Flint Beecher was sponsored by a funeral home. The kids at Beecher have won 13 state track championships, but they've never had a home track meet because around the football field all they have is this dirt ring. Years ago, someone here named the streets in this part of town after all the Ivy League schools, as if they dreamed of better days and something greater for themselves.
The children are doing well. Faculty and staff are doing well. But we don't forget. We don't forget. Just don't want this to happen to anybody else. You know, it's...
I know. I know. I don't want it to happen to anybody else either.
I thought I would,
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
From my cold, dead hands.
Just as he did after the Columbine shooting, Charlton Heston showed up in Flint to have a big pro-gun rally.
Freedom has never seen greater peril, nor needed you more urgently to come to her defense than now.
Before he came to Flint, Heston was interviewed by the Georgetown Hoya about Kayla's death, and even his own NRA website talked about it.
We wanted to let the NRA know that we haven't forgotten about Kayla Rowland. How could they come here? To me, it's like they're rubbing their nose in it. I was shocked and appalled that they would come here.
Heston was asked by a local reporter why he came to Flint after the tragedy at Buell, and what did the NRA have to say about 6-year-olds using guns.
We spend $1 million every year, and then we teach it to 5 and 6-year-olds. We say, if you see a gun, don't touch it, leave the room, call an adult.
And then Moses himself showed up.
Right here in the city of Flint?
Right here in Flint.
Were there people that wanted you to try this child or to even try him as an adult?
Oh, yeah. There were people from all over America that wrote and called and sent mail, and it was amazing to me groups that were affiliated with the NRA, groups that, you know, people what I call gun nuts, writing me and telling me what a horrible thing it was that I had admonished homeowners in our country to be careful about bringing weapons into their home. They wanted this little boy hung from the highest tree. I mean, there was such an undercurrent of racism and hate and anger. It was ugly.
That's a picture that the little boy that was involved in the Buell school shooting, once he was brought back here to our office, about 15 minutes after the shooting took place, I gave him some crayons and stuff to kind of occupy him a little bit. And he came over and drew that picture for me, because at the time I had pictures of behind my desk that my children had drew for me, and he wanted to draw me one to hang on my desk.
This is what he drew for you. What did he say this was?
That's him at his house.
That's him at his house, right here. And why did you decide to hang on to it?
Because of the gravity of the situation and what had occurred, and he asked me to hang that behind my desk, so I put it in a frame, and that's where it'll stay.
Tamarla Owens was the mother of the 6-year-old boy. In order to get food stamps and health care for her children, Tamarla was forced to work as part of the state of Michigan's Welfare to Work program. This program was so successful in tossing poor people off welfare that its founder, Gerald Miller, was soon hired by the #1 firm in the country that states turn to privatize their welfare systems. That firm was Lockheed Martin. With the Cold War over and no enemy left to frighten the public, Lockheed had found the perfect way to diversify and the perfect way to profit from people's fears, with an enemy much closer to home: poor black mothers like Tamarla Owens.
So you've got a one-parent family, and the mother's traveling 60 miles, an hour and a half away to go to work, an hour and a half to come home. How does that help a community? And but that's part of the state, you know, making parents responsible, making them work for their
welfare to work.
Welfare to work. That's a program that ought to be stopped because it really has no merit. I think it adds more to the problem than it does to solve it.
Really?
I do.
You're the sheriff, and you feel this way.
I do. I do. I wish I could put 2 parents in every home and make every parent equally responsible, but you can't do that. But we're not doing anything by taking a one parent and putting them on a bus and sending them out of town to make $5.50 an hour.
This is the bus that she was forced to ride every day in order to work off the welfare money the state had given her. She and many others from Flint who were poor would make the 80-mile round-trip journey every day from Flint to Auburn Hills in Oakland County, one of the wealthiest areas in the country. Tamarla would leave early in the morning and return late at night, rarely seeing her young children.
What's the point of having, what's the point in doing that? Where does the state benefit? Where does Flint and Genesee County benefit from that? We have a child dead. I think that may be in part of the problem. We drove the one parent out. Now, you or anybody else that can tell me that that best serves a community, I shake my head and wonder why.
How long you been riding the bus? I've been working here just about 3 years now.
About 3 years?
Yeah. I got my brother working here. Half of my neighborhood works out here. Just about everybody I know personally works out here in the mall. In Flint, doing the same thing I'm doing now. They only pay minimum wage in Flint. I come 40 miles to make $3 or $4 more an hour.
How much you make an hour here?
I make $8.50 now.
$8.50? Yeah. Is that enough to pay the bills?
No.
So did you know Tamarla Owens, the woman whose son shot the little girl? I think she rode this bus.
I know a little bit, not real good.
Nice lady?
Yeah, she was okay. She came to work every day, did her job. She worked 2 jobs, so.
Worked 2 jobs?
She worked, she was trying to make ends meet.
Going hopping, we're going hopping today, when things are popping.
This is Dick Clark's American Bandstand Grill, where Tamarla worked one of her 2 jobs.
She worked in this room here as a bartender, fountain person, making drinks, making shakes, desserts.
Was she a good employee?
Yeah, she was. She also worked at the Fudgery in the mall here.
Right, the state had sliced her.
Dick Clark is an American icon, The man who brought rock and roll into our homes every week on American Bandstand.
Every part of your life, you can link up to a part of music usually. So as Dick says, it's the soundtrack of our lives. Music's the soundtrack of our lives.
His restaurant and the Fudgery here in Auburn Hills applied for special tax breaks because they were using welfare people as employees. Even though Tamarla worked up to 70 hours a week at these two jobs in the mall, she did not earn enough to pay her rent. And 1 week before the shooting, was told by her landlord that he was evicting her. With nowhere to go and not wanting to take her two children out of school, Tamarla asked her brother if they could stay with him for a few weeks. It was there that Tamarla's son found a small .32 caliber gun and took it to school. Tamarla did not see him take the gun to school because she was on a state bus to go serve drinks and make fudge for rich people. I decided to fly out to California to ask Dick Clark what he thought about a system that forces poor single mothers to work two low-wage jobs to survive. I'm doing a documentary on these school shootings and, you know, guns and all that. And in my hometown of Flint, Michigan, which you know, this little 6-year-old shot a 6-year-old.
Get in the car, Dave.
In class.
Watch your arm.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, we're really late.
Anyways, but the mother of the kid who did the shooting works at Dick Clark's All-American Grill in Oakland County.
Close the door.
And it's a welfare to work program. And these people are forced to, Dick, no.
Come on,
I want you to help me to convince the governor of Michigan it's a welfare to work. These women are forced to work. They've got kids at home. Dick. Oh, jeez. In George Bush's America, the poor were not a priority. And after September 11th, 2001, correcting America's social problems took a back seat to fear, panic, and a new set of priorities.
One way to express our unity is for Congress to set the military budget, the defense of the United States, as a #1 priority and fully fund my request.
We've been selling a lot of chemical suits with the gloves and the hoods, and we've been selling a lot of gas masks.
I'm trying to get one for myself and my puppy.
Dennis Marks and his wife have been stocking up supplies.
Weapons, ammunition.
Walmart says after September 11th, gun sales surged 70%, ammunition up 140%. In Dallas, they're already taking pot shots at Osama bin Laden.
In the months following the 9/11 attacks, we Americans were gripped in a state of fear. None of us knew if we, too, would die at the hands of the evildoers, or who might be sitting next to some crazy guy trying to light his shoes on fire. The threats seemed very real.
It's probably a little paranoia or anything, but I'm not going to take the chance. That's all. Just try to protect myself and my family.
Our growing fears were turned into a handsome profit for many.
Mike Blake has seen a 30% increase in sales at ADT over the last month. Most of the people he talks to are still a little uneasy over these September 11th terrorist attacks.
How are we afraid of all these things? It's because a lot of people are making a lot of money off of it and a lot of careers off of it. And so there's vested interests, a lot of activity to keep us afraid.
And what better way to fight box cutter wielding terrorists than to order a record number of fighter jets from Lockheed? Yes, everyone felt safer, especially with the Army doing garbage detail on Park Avenue. And the greatest benefit of all of a terrorized public is that the corporate and political leaders can get away with just about anything.
I never seen a better example of cash and carry government than this Bush administration and Enron.
There were a lot of things that I didn't know after the World Trade Center attack, but one thing was clear. Whether it was before or after September 11th, a public that's this out of control with fear should not have a lot of guns or ammo laying around.
Well, I was shot with a Tech 9.
9mm?
Yeah. Yeah, it was I guess it was supposed to be semi-automatic, but it kind of seemed like fully automatic to me, from what I remember.
This is Richard Castaldo. And this is Mark Taylor. Both of these boys were shot the day of the Columbine massacre. Richard is paralyzed for life and in a wheelchair. And Mark is barely standing after numerous operations.
The kids at Columbine had to pay a penalty. We paid a penalty that day for this nation. The way we look at it.
Mark and Richard were disabled and suffering from the 17-cent Kmart bullets still embedded in their bodies. As they showed me the various entry points for the bullets, I thought of one way we could reduce the number of guns and bullets laying around. I asked the boys if they'd like to go to Kmart to return the merchandise.
Ready?
You go.
Me? Yep.
We're here. Oh no, we're here to see Mr. Conway,
okay,
the chairman.
Camera off while you're in the building until I get clearance for you to turn it back.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Okay, turn it off. Yeah.
Hi, Michael.
Hi. How are you?
I'm Mary Lorenz. I'm Director of Media Relations for Kmart.
Oh, good. All right. Good.
How can I help you today?
Well, I'm here today. This is Richard Castaldo.
Richard, nice to meet you.
And this is Mark Taylor.
Mark.
And they're students from Columbine High School. They were shot at Columbine in the massacre with bullets from Kmart.
You came a long way.
Yes, they.
From Colorado.
Yeah, I just thinking it. Since you stopped selling the handguns and all, and they kind of make sense to stop selling the bullets too.
Our request is that you get rid of the 9mm bullets and that you don't sell them in a store completely.
We do carry, you probably are aware of Kmart, hopefully you're shoppers of our stores, that we do only carry, sporting firearms and the accessories that go with the hunting sport. And we'll certainly take your message to our chairman and CEO, Chuck Conway. He's not here today.
He's not here today?
No, he's not here actually this whole week.
He's not at all during the week. Do you have a limit on the number of bullets, ammunition that people can purchase?
I can't answer these questions for you. I'm not the merchandiser who places those products in our stores.
Can we speak to that person?
But I can get answers to those questions for you if you would like to leave your card, and I can get those answers.
No, we don't want to leave a card. Let me just be blunt. The reason why we can't take a card and come back is because Mark here, he's got a Kmart bullet just an inch away, right?
Yeah.
From your aorta.
In between my aorta and spine.
In between your aorta and spine.
Well, I'm glad to see, though, that you're still able to stand.
And I told them that somebody here would listen. Somebody here would take the request seriously. Not just a PR person, but somebody who has some authority and who can answer some of the questions that they want answered.
Kmart does care about this, but I can't go any further right now. So until I make a call, I'm going to go back to the office and see if there's anyone in merchandise.
Mary went back upstairs, and 2 hours later, she brought down this guy whose job it is to buy the bullets for Kmart.
Stay out of trouble.
We're not the ones in trouble, guys.
Mark thought he'd show him his bullet wounds.
Those are his bullet holes from your bullets. That's where the Kmart bullets went in.
Oh, take care.
Is anybody else going to come down? Is anybody else going to come down? Is that it?
Let me check.
Okay, thank you.
We waited around a couple more hours, but no one else came down. As we left the building, Mark came up with an idea. He suggested that we go to the nearest Kmart and buy out all their bullets.
Just take as many of those as you can.
Yeah, you can come around here and look good, yeah.
What else do we have over here? You got 357? Sure, I'll take them all. Take everything you got. So you're 17, you're what? 16. Oh, shit.
Oh, my God, Craig.
Mark pretty much cleaned them out of their ammunition. And the next day, we decided to go back to Kmart headquarters with all the bullets. This time, we brought the press.
Our local first coverage of southeastern Michigan continues now with all news stories.
Coming up here in our 6 o'clock report, a warning to everyone this summer to watch out for snakes. You'll hear from a mom who was bitten by a rattlesnake.
And also news, students who survived the Columbine massacre are in town. They are very angry with Kmart.
We're here to see Chuck Conaway, the chairman of Kmart.
How you doing, sir?
How you doing?
It's always a pleasure to see you. Okay, if they would like to see Mr. Conaway.
Here's the 9mm. These are the bullets that are in both Richard and in Mark's body right now.
You want to put those back? I don't want to touch those.
Yep, I did. Sorry.
Move your group outside. I'll have somebody here in 5 minutes. Do me a favor, don't block the door. Just off to the side if you would.
So we'll go outside and somebody will come out.
My name's Lori McTavish. I'm the Vice President of Communications for Kmart. I'm happy to deliver a statement on behalf of the company. What happened in Columbine, Colorado was truly tragic and touched every American. We're sorry for the disadvantage to this young man. Kmart is phasing out the sale of handgun ammunition. The business plan calls for this to be complete in the continental U.S. within the next 90 days. Kmart representatives met with Mr. Moore and the students from Columbine, Colorado yesterday and listened to their concerns about the product carried in Kmart stores. The company committed at the end of that meeting that Kmart would have an answer for them within a week's time.
Well, the first thing we want to do is thank you for committing to no longer selling handgun ammunition in your stores, and within 90 days.
The process will be phased out within 90 days.
Within 90, and after 90 days, there will be no more selling of ammunition that can go into handguns or assault weapons.
Firearm ammunition we will not sell it after 90 days in our stores.
Well, we greatly appreciate that.
Thank you.
Than't you very much. Thank you.
We have a copy of the
Thank you. Wow, that blows my mind. That's more than what we asked for.
This is remarkable.
Yeah.
This is remarkable.
Yeah. Well, like I told you.
I didn't get it.
Did you think? I'm like, we were ready. We're just getting ready to. We're going to the airport. Going to the airport.
The kids from Columbine had scored an overwhelming victory against Kmart, and it inspired me to do something that I knew I had to do. All I needed was a star map.
Mr. Heston?
Yeah.
This is Michael Moore.
Yes.
The filmmaker?
Yes, of course.
Yes, how you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Listen, I was wondering if maybe I could talk to you. We're making a documentary about, you know, the whole gun issue, and I'm a member of the NRA. I thought maybe we could talk a little bit about this.
Tell you what, let me look at my calendar. I may be able to give you some time tomorrow. I have some people here now.
Okay, would that, how can I, pardon me?
Hold the phone.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I can give you a little time tomorrow morning. I think that's Thursday.
Yes.
Yeah, let's say 8:30.
8:30 in the morning?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, and just come here?
Here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Hello?
Hi, it's Michael Moore here to see Charlton Heston.
Okay.
Hi. Good morning. How are you? Thank you very much for agreeing to see me.
He took me out to his pool and tennis house so we could have a chat. I told him that I was a lifetime member of the NRA and showed him my membership card.
Good for you. Well done.
I assume you have guns in the house here?
Indeed, I do.
Uh-huh. And
bad guys take notice.
So you have them for protection?
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever been a victim of crime?
No. No.
Never been assaulted or no violence toward you, but you have guns in the house.
Loaded.
Loaded. They're loaded.
Yeah. Well,
but let me ask
if
you
you
this.
really need a weapon for self-defense, you need it loaded.
Okay, but why do you need it for self-defense? Because
I don't.
Yeah, you've never been a victim of crime. You haven't been assaulted here. You haven't been.
That's true.
You know, why would you? So why not? Why don't you unload the gun?
Because the Second Amendment gives me the right to have it loaded.
Oh, I agree. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, you know, I mean, the Second Amendment gives me a lot
Let's
of
say it's a
rights.
comfort factor, you know.
It gives you comfort to know that there's a loaded gun.
Yeah.
But comfort meaning that it allows you to relax and feel safe.
Not worry about it.
Not worry. Not be afraid.
And I'm not really, but I'm exercising one of the rights passed on down to me from those wise old dead white guys that invented this country. If it was good enough for them, it's good enough for me.
But you could still exercise the right just by having the gun unloaded and locked away somewhere.
I choose to have it.
What sort of strikes me as interesting is that in other countries where they don't have the murder rate, the gun murder rate that we have, that you know, many people say, well, that's because they don't have guns around. You can't. It's hard to get a gun in Britain or Germany or whatever. But we went to Canada, and there's 7 million guns in 10 million homes.
There won't be very long.
But you know what? But hear me out, though. Look, Canada is a nation of hunters, millions of guns, and yet they had just a few murders last year. That's it, of a country of 30 million people. Now, why? Here's my question. Why is it that they've got all these guns laying around, yet they don't kill each other at the level that we kill each other?
I think American history has a lot of blood on its hands.
Oh, and German history doesn't?
No.
In British history?
I don't think as much.
Oh, Germans don't have as much blood on their hands?
They do, yes.
The Brits, they ruled the world for 300 years at the barrel of a gun. Yeah, they're all violent people. They have bad guys. They have crime. They have lots of guns in the past.
Well, it's an interesting point which can be explored, and you're good to explore it at great length. But I think that's about all I have to say on it.
You don't have any opinion, though, as to why that is that we are the unique country, the only country that does this, that kills each other on this level with guns?
Well, we have probably more mixed ethnicity than other countries, some other countries.
You think it's an ethnic thing?
No, I don't. I wouldn't go so far as to say that. We have enough trouble. We had enough problems with civil rights in the beginning. I have no answer.
But what do you mean? You think it's a mixed ethnicity? I don't understand.
You said, how is it that so many Americans kill each other? I don't know that that's true, but even...
Well, no, you know that. We know we have the highest murder rate with guns. It's way higher than any other country.
The only answer I can give you is the one I already gave you.
Which is?
Which is that we have a history of violence, perhaps more than most countries. Not more than Russia, not more than Japan or China.
Not more than Germany.
Not more than Germany, but certainly more than Canada.
I come from Flint, Michigan, and last year a little 6-year-old boy took a gun into a classroom and shot and killed a 6-year-old girl. And it was really a tragic thing. And
this was kids, though,
This was 6-year-old, yeah, did you hear about this?
Yeah.
6-year-old shooting a 6-year-old?
Yeah.
Well, here's my question, though, is that after that happened, you came to Flint and held a big rally.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know,
So did the vice president.
Yeah, but did you feel it was being at all insensitive to the fact that this community had just gone through the shooting?
Actually, I wasn't aware of that at the time we came. We came and did an early morning rally and went on to wherever we were going.
You didn't know at the time when you were there that this killing had happened. Had you known, would you have not
Would
come?
I have canceled the...
Yeah.
I don't...
Not canceled. It wasn't that it wasn't like it was already planned. I mean, the choice to come there was made after this horrible killing took place. Mm-hmm. You know, had you known that, would you have come?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Okay.
Do you think you'd like to just maybe apologize to the people in Flint for coming and doing that at that time, or?
Do you want me to apologize? Me to apologize to the people in Flint?
Yeah. Or the people in Columbine for coming after their horrible tragedy? I mean, why do you go to the places after they have these horrible tragedies? And I'm a member of your group here.
Yeah. Well, I'm afraid we don't agree on that.
You think it's okay to just come and show up at these events? No. You don't think it's okay? Mr. Heston, just one more thing. This is who she is, or was. This is her. Mr. Heston, please don't leave. Mr. Heston, please, take a look at her. This is the girl.
I left the Heston estate atop Beverly Hills and walked back into the real world. An America living and breathing in fear.
In your mind, you imagine somebody who might break into your house to harm you or your family. What does that person look like?
You.
Me?
Her.
Her?
Him.
Really?
Camera guy. Anybody. There could be a gun in the camera. I don't know.
Where gun sales were now at an all-time high.
Can shoot as fast as with a semi-automatic.
And where, in the end, it all comes back to bowling for Columbine.
3 bowling alley employees shot to death Sunday night at the AMF Broadway lanes.
There's nothing I really know. I mean, I really don't know anything.
Just that 3 people died in Littleton in a bowling alley. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right there.
Yes, it was a glorious time to be an American.